So welcome student. So this is the another class. So in this class today we will read what is surface chemistry. Okay, so this is the in our NCERT book, this is the 5th chapter, and so in this chapter actually surface chemistry, in this chapter we will read the different terms and different definitions. Actually this chapter purely theoretical chapter. Okay, no numericals are there. So in the surface chemistry, whatever terms we are dealing with, all the terms are associated with surface. So that's why the chapter is called surface chemistry. And in this chapter, actually it is broadly classified into 3 parts. One part we will read, that is what is adsorption. Second part we will read what is catalysis, and third part that is called colloids. Okay, so this chapter is mainly classified into these 3 parts: adsorption, catalysis, and colloids. Okay, clear now? So first we will read what is adsorption. Okay, so adsorption means, first I am giving some example. Suppose if you will take a duster, and when I am erasing the whiteboard here, the inks are deposited over the surface of this cotton. Okay. Similarly, suppose if you will pass carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide gas or ammonia gas, any charcoal powder, so these gas will be accumulated. Understood? Similarly, if you will take another example, suppose if you will take a piece of bread, okay, and if you will take butter, with the help of spoon or knife, if you do like this, yes or no, the bread, over the bread, the butter will be accumulated. But when you will take the bread deep inside milk, the milk is absorbed. So that's why here you see the terms adsorption, adsorbate, adsorbent, adsorption, and absorption. Okay, so first is, what is the meaning of adsorption? So adsorption means this is an actually surface phenomenon. So here the accumulation of adsorbate over the surface of adsorbent is known as adsorption. Okay, suppose if you take bread, bread is what? Adsorbent, and over the surface of bread, suppose butter is accumulated, then the butter is called adsorbate. Got the idea? Understood? So the process in which the adsorbate is accumulated over the surface of adsorbent is known as adsorption. Okay, so this is the meaning of adsorption. So adsorbate, understood? So the molecular species which is concentrated over the surface or over the adsorbent, this is known as adsorbate, and the surface is known as adsorbent. Clear? But what is the meaning of absorption? So when, if you take a piece of bread, when bread dipped inside milk, milk is absorbed. That means absorption is a bulk phenomenon, whereas adsorption is a surface phenomenon. So you see A, B, sorption, A, B, sorption. So AD, AB, adsorption and absorption. Clear now? So that's why both the process adsorption and absorption takes place simultaneously. Okay, so the process in which adsorbate is accumulated over the surface of adsorbent is known as adsorption. Both the adsorption and absorption takes place simultaneously. Clear now? Okay, so when ammonia passed through water, it forms ammonium hydroxide. When ammonia passed through water, it forms ammonium hydroxide. That means it is what? Ammonia reacts with water. So it is not adsorption. But when ammonia passed over charcoal powder, ammonia gas will be completely adsorbed over the surface of adsorbent. Clear now? Understood? So this is the meaning of adsorption, adsorbent, and absorption. Clear now? Then the process by which both adsorbate and adsorbent is separated, this is known as desorption. This is known as desorption. Understood? So the process by which bent and bent can be separated, yes or no? This is called desorption. Understood? Okay, so this is the meaning adsorption and absorption. So you will remember adsorption it is a surface phenomenon, but absorption is a bulk phenomenon. Yes or no? Second one is the rate of adsorption is high at the beginning and then decreases till equilibrium is attained. But absorption from the beginning, it is what? It is same. Understood? Clear now? So this is the meaning of adsorption, adsorbent, and desorption. Clear now? So actually you will remember this chapter has great application in our day-to-day life. In our day-to-day life, many examples are there where what surface chemistry phenomena are what actually exist. Clear now? Similarly, suppose when you are preparing different types of suppose curry or a recipe, yes or no, adsorption takes place simultaneously. Suppose if you take ghee, yes or no, put over the surface of charcoal, then what? Some ghee will be adsorbed and some ghee will be absorbed. So that's why absorption and adsorption takes place simultaneously. Then next theory is why adsorption is always exothermic in nature. Why adsorption is always exothermic in nature. So exothermic in nature means its delta H value will be negative. Adsorption is always exothermic in nature. That means its delta H value is negative. We have to explain why. Okay. So in thermodynamics we have read delta G equals to del H minus T del S. Okay. Del H minus T del S. We come to an example. Suppose ammonia gas. So ammonia gas when it passed over charcoal powder, so in air the ammonia gas entropy definitely it is more than when ammonia gas is adsorbed. Yes or no? So when ammonia gas passed over charcoal bed or charcoal powder, its entropy value decreases. That means delta S value is negative. Okay, and we know the condition of spontaneity is delta S what? Positive, delta H negative, delta G negative. This is the according to thermodynamics condition of spontaneity. So when any gas or when adsorption takes place, delta S value negative. So when delta S value negative, you see this value. If this is negative, then minus T del S. This total value will come what? Positive. So if this value will come positive, to make delta G value negative, the delta H value must be more negative. Otherwise, delta G value negative will not come. Understood? Clear now? Again I am telling. So during adsorption, delta S value negative. So if this is negative, this total term is positive. So if this value is positive, to make delta G value negative, the delta H value must be more negative. So when delta H value is more negative, then it is called exor-endo. This is called an exothermic process. Okay, this is very, very important. So adsorption is always exothermic in nature. Clear now? Similarly, in another way also you can explain when adsorption takes place. When adsorption takes place, suppose this is a you see, this is what a surface. Over this surface, when you pass any gas, any liquid, when it is adsorbed, the residual force of surface molecule decreases. So when the residual force of a surface molecule decreases, as a result, it loses energy. That means delta H value is negative. Clear now? Hence, adsorption is what? Exothermic in nature. Clear now? So, this is the meaning of what? Your theory of adsorption. Adsorption is always exothermic in nature. Clear? Then, next part is types of adsorption. Adsorptions are of how many types? So adsorptions are of actually two types. You see, suppose when you take bread, over bread, if you take butter, and when butter is accumulated over the surface of bread, there is no new compound will form. Or we can say there is no new attraction between bread and charcoal. But you see, when suppose if you take chlorine gas or if you take water, chlorine gas, when it passed over suppose palladium metal, then it forms PdCl2. So that's why adsorption it is of two types. Adsorption is of two types. One is called physical adsorption and another one is called chemical adsorption. Physical adsorption and another one is called chemical adsorption. Physical adsorption, this is also known as physisorption, and chemical adsorption, this is known as chemisorption. What the idea? Physical adsorption is known as physisorption and chemical adsorption is known as chemisorption. Okay, so between physical and chemical adsorption many differences are there. Okay, around 11 differences are there. So between physical and chemical. So you see, I am explaining one. Suppose if you compare, keep in mind that physical bread and butter, yes or no? Chemical is palladium and chlorine. Suppose clear now. So in which case we can say it is reversible. So physical adsorption is reversible. Chemical adsorption is not reversible. Yes or no? Second one is in which case there is a very weak intermolecular force, or we can say weak van der Waals force of attraction is present. Physical, but in chemical bonding is present. Yes or no? Physical adsorption, it is multi-layered. Suppose if you take bread, yes or no? So over this bread, whatever amount of butter can be accumulated, no problem. But chemical adsorption means chemical reaction only once takes place over the surface molecule. So once the surface molecule over means when it means chemical adsorption never takes place. Understood? So that's why chemical adsorption beginning it is what increases, after some time it is decreases. Clear now? Okay. Similarly, physical adsorption, when temperature increases, physical adsorption decreases. Yes or no? But when temperature increases, chemical adsorption increases. Physical adsorption, yes or no? Because no chemical reaction, so activation energy is very less. But chemical adsorption, chemical reaction takes place when some activation energy is required. Physical adsorption reversible, chemical adsorption not reversible. Okay, so like this, what you will remember different what or difference between physical adsorption and what chemical adsorption. Clear now? So in our board exam, from this part your difference question, 2-mark question will come. Yes or no? Reasoning based question will come. Definition, maximum part is definition. What is adsorption? Absorption, adsorbate, adsorbent, desorption. Understood? Sorption indicates both the process takes place simultaneously. Both physical and chemical. Yes or no? Sorry, both adsorption and absorption takes place simultaneously. Got the idea? The next part is what is the Friedrich adsorption isotherm. Isotherm, you know, in Boyle's law we have read, this is a graphical representation, yes or no, when temperature is constant. This is known as isotherm. So here, scientist Friendlich explained that Friendlich adsorption isotherm. Okay, so what is Friendlich adsorption isotherm? So it is one mathematical equation or empirical relation that x by m equals to k into p to the power 1 by m. X by m equals to k into p to the power 1 by m. What is x? X is what? Amount of gas adsorbed. What is m? Total mass of the adsorbent. K is constant, P is pressure, N is also constant at a particular temperature. So x by m is called rate of adsorption. Rate of adsorption, it is what? Proportional to pressure to the power 1 by n. So this is an empirical relation. Yes or no? Rate of adsorption with pressure at constant temperature. Okay, so this concept was given by Friendlich. So according to his name, this is called Friendlich adsorption isotherm. And if you remember, this concept is applicable when the accumulating substance is gas. So that's why we have taken pressure. And here you will remember some graphical parts are there because this is a relation. So if you plot the graph x by m versus p at any one temperature, the graph will come like this. The graph will come like this. Suppose this is O, A, let B to C. Clear? Now, if you will explain O to A, then A to B, and then B to C. First, if you will compare from O to A. So O to A means, you see, when pressure increases, rate of adsorption increases, direct straight line. That means here we can say x by m is directly proportional to T from O to A. B to C, you see, where pressure increases, x by m value constant because it is parallel to pressure axis. So here x by m does not depend on pressure, directly proportional to P to the power 0. But A to B, you see, here only what the rate of adsorption is directly proportional to P to the power 1 by n. So here P to the power 1, here P to the power 0, but here P to the power 1 by n. So we can say that 1 by n value lies between 1 to 0. Understood? Clear now? So remember this. Okay. So this is called for one gas at a one temperature. Understood? This is called here rate of adsorption. And if you remember, in entrance questions means graph will be given from any part a question will ask. From any part a question will ask. Clear now? It is applicable for gas. It is an empirical formula. It has no application. No, it is only theoretical aspect. Similarly, for different gases, or if you take for one gas different temperature, then what will be the nature of the curve? So x by m versus p, if you take different temperature. So when suppose T1, T2, T3. So when temperature increases, rate of adsorption increases. So here T1 is less than T2 is less than T3. So when temperature increases, because you see, when temperature increases means when whatever gas what actually accumulated, so its intermolecular force of attraction decreases, so that gas molecule easily escapes out from the surface. Understood? So that's why this is for different temperature, this is for one temperature. And when the accumulating substance is liquid, then you will remember x by m equals to k into c to the power 1 by n. In place of pressure, we can use concentration. Understood? Okay. So again, what is x? Amount of gas adsorbed. What is M? Total mass of the adsorbent. K and N are constant which depend on the nature of the adsorbent. What is P? P is the pressure. Understood? So Friendly's adsorption isotherm, it is an empirical relation between quantity of gas adsorbed by unit mass of solid and pressure at a particular temperature. Clear now? Understood? So these are the when pressure means your accumulating substance is gas, we can take pressure. When accumulating substance is liquid, in place of pressure we can take a concentration. Similarly, you see another mathematical part we can derive, only mathematical part but numerical will not come. You see x by m equals to k into p to the power 1 by n. Okay, multiply log both sides. So log x by m equals to log k plus log p to the power 1 by n, or we can write log x by m equals to log k plus 1 by n log p. Clear? So if we'll draw the graph, you see. So if we'll draw the graph, so first see y equals to mx plus c. This is the format. So y-axis, that is log x by m, x-axis log p. So slope is positive, that's why it has a certain y-intercept. Yes or no? Hence this part is log k and the slope tan theta equals to dash 1 by n. Clear? So this is called your Friendly's adsorption isotherm. Okay? But what are the limitations of Friendly's adsorption isotherm? You will remember it has only empirical formula, it has no theoretical basis. The value of k and n vary with temperature. This equation is valid only over a certain range of pressure. Understood? So these are the limitations of Friendly's adsorption isotherm. Clear now? So this adsorption actually it has many applications in our day-to-day life. Many applications in our day-to-day life. So what are the different applications? Production of high vacuum. Gas mask is used for breathing in coal mines to adsorb poisonous gas. Control of humidity by using silica gel. Froth flotation process. So these are the different methods. Yes or no? Here we are using the concept of adsorption. So clear? Adsorption, adsorbate, bend, adsorption, desorption. Yes or no? Adsorption is exothermic in nature. Types of adsorption, physical and chemical adsorption. Okay. Then theory of adsorption, Friendly's adsorption. Also in higher class we will read another one that is called Langmuir adsorption. We are not reading this part. Okay. And Friendly's adsorption theory, equation, graph. Okay. Log equation like this part. Okay. Clear?